You ever been on your self improvement journey, or maybe your gym journey, whatever it may be, whatever endeavor you may be going through in your life, and after building so much discipline in the area, you kind of fall off for a couple of days and it feels like you're reset to ground zero once again. You make so much progress towards a certain goal, and then you fall back to the person you used to be, and you just feel super shitty about yourself because you feel like a gremlin, the same gremlin that you're trying to run away from, the same person that you're trying to grow out of being, and all of a sudden you're just back to square zero. You start to question yourself. Why am I even doing this in the first place? I just keep on resetting back to zero every time I make any sort of progress. So what's the point in even trying if I'm always just gonna come back to level zero and be super depressed about my potential? Maybe I should just shut up and ignore my potential and be a Jeffrey for the rest of my life. I know me personally, it's always the gym or my nofap streak. Whenever I start getting inconsistent in any of those habits, I just become the worst version of myself. In terms of mentally speaking, just be going to super dark place where I used to be, very low self-esteem, super negative thoughts about myself, very limiting beliefs I just oppose on myself that I broke once upon a time. Especially those two habits, no fap and going to the gym. So if I break my no fap streak, or if I'm going to the gym consistently and then I just stop going to the gym for XYZ reason, I get super depressed for me personally. And what I realized was my ego was just way too massive. I was thinking I'm this big hot shot that I ain't really. I was being a dumbass. I was claiming to be, in my own mind, this sort of warrior or this some sort of super disciplined David Goggins type of character, when really I was just a Jeffrey who is only 1 year into trying to course correct his life. And you're probably in that same boat. You're a person who used to be a big loser, but now you're trying to not be a loser and become a winner, starting to get into these new habits and these new routines, and you're failing to keep them, having them stick, being disciplined in them. And after you break that discipline or you don't keep that streak, you feel super crap about yourself because you're thinking, why this the addiction that I've had, no fap, for 10 years, this addiction I've built, why am I not breaking it in 1 week? It's because your ego is massive, you dumbass. Do you really think after training yourself to be a certain way for so many years, whether it was you or your parents, who cares, you've been trained to act a certain way, and now you're claiming that, and you're being upset even, that you're not completely altered your ego and become this new persona that you're trying to be in 1 week or couple days or even 1 month or couple months. This shit takes time, man. You gotta fucking rework your brain, rewire it completely from scratch. You gotta first tear down, kind of like a house, I guess, in a weird way. You tear down the old building and you gotta construct a new shit. You can't just do that shit immediately. First you gotta tear down the shit, then you gotta, I guess you'd clear out the rubble and stuff, then you lay down the foundation, and then you slowly build the framework, and then you build the walls, and then the roofing, and then the interior design. This shit takes time. So the reason that you're super disappointed in yourself for breaking your streaks and becoming in this super depressed place is because your ego's way too fucking big. Humble yourself. That is the cold hard truth of the matter. Your ego's way too big. I need to reset your expectations and play this game for the long run. Stop trying to expect results in a couple months, in a couple weeks. It's going to take a couple years to get to where you want to be, and that's okay. It's going to take me a couple years, probably way longer than you. It's going to take me even longer. Then it'll take you to get to where you want to be compared to where I want to be. Not that I'm saying that my ambitions are bigger than yours. Maybe if our ambitions were equal, it's just that I'm in a more fucked up place than you probably are. Or I was in a more fucked up place than you probably are at the moment. It's just the fact that, and a lot of kids, a lot of people, they get super intimidated by the prospect of a couple of years journey to try and improve yourself. A couple of years is a long time. You know, you talk to your uncles and stuff and say, oh, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, I did this. Oh, we haven't met since 15 years ago. I'm like, brother, 15 years? That's like 80% of my lifespan. Years are a long time. And a lot of people get intimidated by it and they back away. They take the easy route out. They just ignore their ambitions, their dreams, all the bad feelings that they have inside, just shove it down and forget about it. And then they go through these alcohol addictions, porn addictions, drugs, gambling to try and compensate for it. But just the fact that the mountain you're trying to climb is so big, it makes it all the more worthy for you to climb that mountain. Because if it was easy to do, why would you do it? If it's hard to do, that means you should do it. You keep on doing the hard thing until it becomes easy. The problem is that people don't give themselves permission to suck. They just expect to be naturally talented at whatever activity they want to do. I've always wanted to draw for a long time. When I started drawing, this is very relevant because PewDiePie started drawing and he fucking destroyed me. He made this more progress than me in 100 days than I made in 1.5 years. Anyways, good on him. Not jealous of him. I swear I'm not jealous of him. Anyways, I've wanted to draw forever, and it took me so long to start making good progress towards whatever the goals. I don't really have goals, but I can, for this example, I have goals. The goals I'm trying to achieve with my art, to get to a certain echelon of competency. It took so long to do it, and a lot of people, they don't partake in that hobby or that endeavor, going to the gym or start playing an instrument. I don't fucking know, starting a sport that they didn't play when they were young, so they have to learn everything from scratch. And then they see, oh, it's gonna take so many years to get good at it, so they just shy away from it. They back off and they don't partake in it at all. When it's the opposite, the fact that it's hard makes it all the more worthy for you to do it. Give yourself permission to suck absolutely and terribly, and then get better, and then become the best.